In this video, we will look at heaving line knots. A heaving line knot is used to carry a light line ashore. It's tied at the end of the line and gives weight when thrown. The light line is used to pass a hawser to the wharf. A hawser is a rope or cable for mooring or towing a vessel. The heaving line knot needs to be bulky enough to be seen and heavy enough to carry the end of the heaving line in advance of the tossed coil. Those tying a heaving line knot will often load the knot with various metal materials to add weight. The Norfolk-To-Washington boat heaving line knot is about the simplest form of the knot. 2 layers of sheet lead are wound around the standing part of the rope, and this is covered by the series of turns. The turns are made taut and the end is finished with an overhand knot, or it's taken back to the standing part and spliced into it. Ashley says that the best way to rig a heaving line is with a lanyard. It should be larger than the heaving line and about 4 feet long. It's spliced into the hawser eye, and the other end has an eye splice to which the heaving line is bent with a becket hitch. If the heaving line is bent directly to the hawser, it is difficult to unbend after the hawser eye is around a pile. Since the heaving line knot is exposed to excessive wear, the best practice is to side splice the end into the neck of the knot. The splice will hold the turns in place better than a knot. This type of splice is detailed in an entry in a later chapter. The heaving line knot in entry 538 is based on the hangman's knot, and Ashley says is perhaps the most common. It involves a number of turns, of which the number taken depends somewhat on the size of the ship. The next heaving line knot is the Martha's Vineyard boat heaving line knot. Start with 3 round turns. Pass the end around the top turns and under its own part. Wind around back snugly the full length of the knot. At the bottom, stick the end through the 3 original turns. To make the knot symmetrical, stick the standing part through the 3 turns in the reverse direction. To finish off, it should be hauled taut and the end should be side spliced to the stem. The heaving line knot in entry 540 has numerous variations and uses a small coil for its base. Start by making 3 turns. Then a turn through these with the standing part is made and the turns pulled through. Round down snugly to the end. The end is stuck through, and to finish off, it should be drawn as taut as possible and the end side spliced to the stem. The next knot is an over and under heaving line knot. This is one of 2 knots contributed by Ashley to this series of heaving line knots. First, make an S-turn in the rope. Tuck the end through the bight. Then lead the end to the right, alternating over and under the 3 parts of the S. When the number of over parts is a multiple of 3, work the knot snug and splice the end to the standing part. Ashley says that the monkey's fist has always been the standard heaving line knot for the square rigger, and usually it has a core around which it is tied. For this entry, Ashley describes how to tie it around the hand. Hold the working end with the thumb in the palm of the left hand. Make 2 round turns around the hand and lay the working end back between the tips of the fingers. Bring the end to the front again between the base of the fingers. Repeat this step, making sure that the second time it goes above the first. Remove the structure from the hand and make 2 final turns. The knot can now be worked into a compact ball. To complete the knot, the end is side spliced to the standing part, 1 foot from the knot, and 2 seasonings are put on, one at the end of the splice and the other at the neck of the knot. The last knot for this video is the Doughnut, which is the second contribution of Ashley's to the heaving line knots. Make a small coil of 3 or 6 round turns. Then serve over snugly. The turns should be packed tightly and made taut. To finish, the end should be tucked and side spliced to the stem. In the next video, we will begin looking at the series of Turk's heads.